Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT podcast, episode 51. We checked this time.
It's right.
Yeah.
100% confirmed.
As always, with me, since I realized I didn't do intros last time, on my right,
I'm Friedman.
and on my left.
This is just Tyler.
And we're here to bring you mostly Weeb news, along with
It's
a little
okay.
bit of other news, and then a discussion at the end about... Tyler, you can... since it was
Am I
your idea.
introducing it?
It's
Oh,
your
child.
child.
yeah.
Oh
It's your
shit!
child.
What makes a meme dank?
Oh my...
Wait, shit! I actually forgot what I was doing.
You're the one who brought it up.
I
No,
know.
Leave it a surprise to the viewers. The
Oh,
viewers
do we
just
want
read
to?
the title
I
of the
just
episode.
remembered.
They already know what it is.
No. I'll say it because
You
I
know what
remembered.
it
Immersion.
is.
What breaks your immersion?
And how
My
pissed off
immersion.
do you get when your immersion breaks?
Yeah,
Answer very.
It is the answer is very, and we'll elaborate more later. But for now, we're gonna talk about. Oh,
We're gonna put Tyler to sleep as
Great.
always.
It's gonna be real
great!
short.
I was
No.
all hyped.
No. Hold on, Tyler. This was premeditated because we did talk about 2 weeks ago how while me and Val were home in New Jersey was the time of the MTG Banned and Restricted update. So you knew that this was coming at least a little bit.
Yeah.
We also discussed it
Yeah,
briefly in
yeah.
person.
That is true too. We got to talk about it for 5 microseconds
I
while we
check
were there.
out just as much in person when y'all talk about Magic
Oh my god.
as I do on this podcast.
All right, so
Look,
really
we can tell.
quickly, Banned and Restricted updated. Only changes are in Legacy, and Deathrite Shaman and Gitaxian Probe were both banned, leaving Gitaxian Probe maybe the most banned card ever next to Treasure Cruise.
Who would have thought that all this good shit at 1 mana or less is too good?
Who would have known paying 2 life to draw a card and look at your opponent's hand and get perfect information is really fucking good.
Kill your guard. Oh my god, Phyrexian mana was a mistake.
Phyrexian mana is a
Just
little
like
too
anime.
good.
Phyrexian mana was a mistake.
So yeah, Gitaxian Probe is now only legal in Commander and restricted in Vintage. Is it legal in Pauper? Oh,
I
God damn it.
believe it is.
I think it is. Mostly because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because Grape Shot's banned, so Storm isn't as good. But yeah, that's honestly just basically Gitaxian Probe lets you play a 56 card deck. You run 4 Gitaxian Probes, and instead of drawing, you just every time you see it, pay 2, draw a card, look at your opponent's hand.
It
was
does too
good.
much good shit for free. It's justified.
The other massive one is Deathrite Shaman, basically Magic's equivalent of a 1-mana Planeswalker. This card is just so good on its own. It shut down. It kind of was fringe benefit against like really good reanimator strategies that were really combo-y. Turn 1 drop this, it's harder for the opponent to combo off and reanimate something good from their yard. But just in general, this gave such good mana fixing to any green or black deck. I mean, you just play it on turn 1 off of a fetch land, and then on turn 3 you have 3 mana, which is just way too fast in Legacy.
They should have just given it the Tybalt treatment. Just make every ability on that card random and add a red mana and you're golden.
No, but Legacy was apparently becoming pretty homogenized around Deathrite Shaman, and now the format seems to be pretty wide open. A lot of people are very excited. It kind of kills off the 4-color good stuff piles, which I'm sad about, only because Leovold was in those decks a lot of the time. And
It killed off
Leovold is so cool.
It killed off my favorite deck name, Esper Deathblade, which I've named multiple MMO characters after. So that's not a deck anymore. Now it's just Esper Stoneblade.
Yeah, there's
They're
definitely
okay
some
right now.
decks that took a hit. Some decks got a boost, and overall, I think people are supposed to be are pretty overall excited for Legacy.
Yeah, everyone's buying up Death and Taxes cards. I think it's gonna be.
Yeah,
the
Death
new
and
top
Taxes
dog.
is definitely gonna
It's kind of in a good place.
kind of strut on in there, since now it's a lot harder to get stuff down before Thalia hits the field.
Yeah.
And yesterday we had the
Sheldon,
Commander
the rules
ban list update, because I was wondering when we were there why it hadn't happened at the same time, but I think everything got moved up a week for some reason at Wizards' end for all their stuff. I don't know. Regardless, no changes in Commander. which is fine by me. I don't play competitively enough that a lot of the cards that people talk about as too good matter. Cyclonic Rift and Sol Ring are always things people want and don't want banned. But other than that, maybe they could have unbanned more. Protean Hulk was unbanned, and apparently it didn't kill Commander. It only really
Hulk is
matters
still,
for the Commander
fine.
for those competitive people. But Commander is always just such a wide spread of power levels that it honestly feels like some cards could come off and just be pretty okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's other than that, not much Magic news. I mean, there's always. Oh, actually, this is side news. This isn't even Magic news. I actually read this headline earlier and I forgot about it. Wizards and Hasbro announced that Wizards is now developing a Transformers collectible card game.
Nani?
What?
Yeah. I don't even know if there was a post on the Magic subreddit about it, but Google was like, hey, you like Wizards of the Coast stuff. You might be interested in this.
My God. Hasbro's like, that's it. We need this Hearthstone money now.
Yeah.
We can't wait for Arena to come out or whatever the fuck.
Arena's already tanking. Quick, make a new fucking trading card game.
Man, people actually care about Transformers still.
Well, I mean, this is the greatest movie series of all time.
When I saw Sicario...
I saw the trailer, right, for the new Bumblebee movie.
Wait, Tyler, did you see Sicario finally?
No, I saw Incredibles 2 yesterday.
Oh, that's still good.
Damn.
No, because Leslie got sick on Saturday. And she's like, oh, I can't go.
Whoops.
I'm too sick. And then she finally ate, and she got better. I was like, oh, yeah, see, you're better now.
And it's too late.
And she's like, oh, it's too late, though. And I'm like, I want to fucking kill myself.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to see this movie for so long.
Sorry, Tyler. If I had been able to see it with my dad before I left, I would have totally done the double viewing with you.
That's fine. It's okay.
Like, it's a good movie.
I know. I want to see it. See, the mistake was showing Leslie. Because now she's like, oh, I got to see it with you. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you should have just been like, nah, fuck you. You don't get to watch the original.
See, I was trying to be nice. I was like, oh, this is something fun we can do together.
That's where you went wrong.
That's where you... Congratulations.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Oh my God. Shit. But yeah, we'll talk about movie stuff later. Because I also saw... you saw Incredibles. I saw Incredibles, Sicario, and Ant-Man since the last podcast. So we'll talk about those at the end. All right, Friedman. I know it's not the weeb shit, but you have this topic.
All right, this has been blowing up. If you thought Gamergate was bad,
this is big.
This is the Gamergate of the Guild Wars community, and now it's everywhere.
I heard nothing about this other than when you mentioned it 2 weeks ago.
It's been like some
it's everywhere.
Big news, yeah.
So I'll give some backstory here. About 2 years ago, ArenaNet announces they're hiring a writer for the narrative team named Jessica Price. And for most people in tabletop gaming, I don't remember which game she worked for, but she was famous for just being like a huge burden on the company she worked for. She's a huge social justice activist, and she's very vocal on social media, and it's apparently very hard to work with her. So she got fired and just bitched out that company for years. So ArenaNet hires her because ArenaNet's kind of a more progressive company, and I like that about them. They brought her on, and I remember being in the discussion that everyone's like, she's going to make the plot a little funky and make ArenaNet, have some weird internal issues. And everyone's like, oh, it'll be fine. So 4th of July weekend, I think the Tuesday before 4th of July weekend, they did an AMA on Reddit about their last release because they kind of botched the release 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to lie. It sucked. They bugged the hell out of the game. They actually pushed a lot of shit that was still in dev into production, and that caused a lot of things to break. 2 of the raid bosses just were unplayable.
Oh, no.
It was really shitty. So they did like kind of a damage control AMA where they didn't answer any of the real questions, and only the narrative team showed up to answer any questions. And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. Jessica Price's answers were fine. Everyone was, feeling like, okay, looks like the devs really want to talk to us. So Darier, one of the bigger Guild Wars 2 streamers who's been doing like lore videos since Guild Wars 1, responds to a tweet that she posted about like writing main characters in MMO and how it's hard, like it's difficult to do like branching characters. Like they have to kind of keep it consistent and let you, the player, kind of paint yourself onto the character, which is why main characters in MMOs are always super bland or have zero personality. So Derrier comes in and he brings up the point that all of us are thinking is that, well, in the base game that came out, every conversation you had 3 options. And even though all conversations kind of led to the same point, your character could handle conversations differently. So he asked that question to her because she said, oh, I'm looking for feedback. He gives this comment and then she responds with, today in being a female game dev, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how to do your job. Damn. So she pulls the, well, I'm a female dev card, and you know, it kind of implies that Derrier is being sexist about this, but he's really not. Like, he, in his stream the day before, he talked about how much he respects Jessica Price and how much he likes her input. So he wanted to have a real discussion with her. He gets called out. She responds, I don't even have this. You can find this in the article. The point is, she calls him out and says, I don't need rando asshats writing at me on my wall. So, you know, that would have been the end of it, but Peter Fries, one of the original writers since Guild Wars 1, comes in and he tries to, you know, defend what she said. So everyone's like, well, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't an issue of like the devs not want to talk to us, even though ArenaNet like really advertised like our devs want to communicate with the community. This issue of calling out and insulting people in the community who are reaching out to you. So July 5th rolls around and I was like, oh, what's ArenaNet going to do? And the president of ArenaNet comes on and goes, yeah, they're both no longer with the company.
Get wrecked. Damn.
And everyone's like, whoa, they're both not with the company? Because everyone thought Peter Fries, the guy who just came in to defend her, didn't really do too much wrong until I read the tweet that probably cost him his job. It was, who said she asked for your input? Which is directly against ArenaNet's policy of we want to be open to our community. So she's a very big activist, and she's going from news outlet to news outlet, giving her side of the story of what happened. And one of the big talking points, at least among the Guild Wars communities, she doesn't get it. This wasn't an issue of her being a female developer. This was an issue of her calling one of our only big Guild Wars 2 streamers an asshat for asking a question about why they don't use a mechanic from the base game anymore. And this is blowing up. This is now the new Gamergate for Guild Wars 2, at least. But every site, Kotaku, Polygon, every article, every place, fucking men's activist subreddit, all the places where all those stupid guys are screaming, this is the topic everyone's talking about. And this just does not bode well for anyone, and I hate that this is happening. But this was the drama of the 4th of July for the Guild Wars community.
There we go.
I don't know what to say. This whole shit, it's really getting out of hand. Like, everybody's getting hurt over the smallest thing. And, I understand, right? Like, there are some serious things going on out in, like, any sort of industry with, like, the sexual harassment and stuff like that. But, like, this, really? Come on. This is, like, too much.
Well, it's...
People are getting butthole over stupid. Well, no. I
read the Polygon article where she complains about how the president came into the meeting where they're essentially firing her, and he brought up how much this was she calls it a PR nightmare for the company. And what she didn't understand is that's something that you can't do at your job. You can't cause shit like this to have a bad reputation for your company. And she explained this, he just came in there to explain how mad he was. He forced me to stand there and listen to him. And it's like, you're not getting the point of why he did it. You're just complaining that he did it.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm a woman. Hear me roar.
I don't want to be sexist against women, but I feel that she's
her being shitty has nothing to do with women.
We're not mad at her because she pulled that card. We're more mad that she's being an asshole about all this.
Well, yeah, that's what the deal is, right? It's that's with any sort of activist group. It's like, we recognize that you feel, oppressed, right? And we want to help you. But the second, like, people do shit like that, it's like number one, like, no one wants to even consider your argument anymore. And two, like, you're making this a lot harder for everyone. Same thing with the whole Black Lives Matter deal, right? It's like, I can see that there's racism. I have encountered racism myself multiple times. But, the second you start spouting ignorant shit all the time, and then you give the wrong impression, then, you make everything just worse, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's like, at that point, right? Everything that, like, the other person said, now you're just confirming it. So everybody who thought that, these left-wing extremist women, like they're all crazy, all these feminists, feminazis, like, you know, they're all fucking crazy. Well, now like everybody's like, you know, they're like, yeah, I'm right. And she caused this or helped perpetuate it.
It's really annoying because, you know, there's people on both sides of the issue here. Like, I'm on her Twitter and she blocks a shit ton of people. So I'm not, I first of all, I don't have a Twitter. So she hasn't blocked me yet. But the number one way to view her Twitter is to not be logged in. But it's really annoying. Like, the second she's like, way to tell me how to do my job, everyone else comes in and goes, yeah, just because this is a public social media forum doesn't mean you can voice your opinion. And I can't believe, like, that's the defense people go to, is that, you know, you don't have a right to comment on someone's Twitter if you disagree with them.
Well, number one, that's dumb, because this. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Oh my god.
Best episode.
Oh my god.
For viewers, I'm referencing a South Park line where Randy.
Randy is at his son's baseball games and
yeah, I think it's a soccer game.
No, it's baseball and none of them want to play it. Yes,
yeah.
It's baseball.
And then he goes specifically just to fight people. Just to fight other parents in the stands.
Like,
and then when they go to take him away, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
But
like, the episode had two plots. It was the kids don't want to be playing baseball, so they're practicing how to intentionally throw a game. While in the meantime, Randy's plotline is just Rocky.
It's
literally training to fight other dads at these baseball games.
That's great.
Anyway, I'm going to move off
oh
this
shit, now that you said that, I actually remember that one.
Yeah. All right. What's is this positive? What is this? I don't even know what the hell this is.
These are a bunch of tiny announcements
hopefully
going on here. But this one I just saw when we were looking through IGN for random news to scrape up. But it looks like the new Netflix original series, The Dragon Prince, which by the way is animated. I don't know if it's an anime, but it's definitely animated. Has the original writer for Avatar: The Last Airbender working on it. So I am beyond excited to see what they do, given the creative freedom that Netflix provides their content creators.
Neato. I'm interested. I mean, everybody knows, and the viewers included, and you know, I receive a copious. I think copious is the wrong word for this. I think it's an understatement. I get a lot of hate for not watching or for not really enjoying Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's okay. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's it. I'm moving out.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Right there. Podcast canceled. But you know what though? I respect it. I respect the show for what it is. Like the art is good, the characters are good. Like, you know, I tell people like I gave it a chance. I feel like I gave it a chance.
Okay, podcast uncanceled. I'm moving back in.
Right? Yeah.
These are reasonable opinions to hold.
Like these are
all reasonable points.
It's one of those things that I completely understand why people enjoy it, and I respect it for what it is. I just don't enjoy it. Kind of like the Beatles. I don't like the Beatles, but I respect them for what they did in the world of music.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I'll give this a shot. Like I said, I wasn't into that, but if his writing carries over, then I'm definitely interested in it. Do we know anything about it, or like what is it
Nothing
about?
else. They show off just like principal footage. I think August, or no, they didn't give off a release date. They said they're showing off the first episode at San Diego Comic-Con. So that's probably when we're gonna get our big info dump. But this is just like a
really
principal
soon.
announcement for it.
Yeah, that's
When
real
is it, August?
soon.
It's coming up.
It's a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's a couple
Jeez.
weeks.
But the one thing I'm excited for, and I don't actually plan on bitching about it during the Weeb shit, is I'm almost at the end of Be the Beginning, and holy crap, that show is getting real bad. So I'm very excited to see.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say it was getting real good. I remember.
No, I'm happy to see real established writers work on a Netflix show, as opposed to some dude who wrote a Death Note fanfic and then they made it into an anime.
Damn. Well.
Anyway.
Shit.
Moving on to some good news.
Ooh, I'm hyped for this Octopath Traveler. Oh shit.
I've managed to avoid playing the demo so long that I'm finally going into this game blind.
Damn it. You should at least play one of the characters, because they released demos for 3 of the characters.
Nah, I've already pre-ordered from Amazon. I don't want to ruin the pristine experience now.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm definitely getting it day one, which I'm glad, because can't even play it on Friday.
Me neither.
Because Leslie and I are gonna go see Sicario on Friday.
Well, don't worry. She'll probably get sick again, and then you have a backup plan.
No, I have to see this fucking movie. Oh my god, like Tim, you don't understand. Like I can't hold it in now. I'm losing my shit. I need to see this movie.
That's fine.
And I told her, I was like, Leslie, I really want to see this movie. And jeez. And I'm like, no. She's like, but we can go. I'm just gonna die. I'm like, fine.
Oh my god.
We can wait. We can
How
wait.
bad was she actually?
Well, all right. You know what? So this is what happened. We went out for a hike, right? We went over to one of the parks and like we took Faye for a walk, and we were out there in the sun. Little did I know is that she barely ate or drank water the entire day, and it was like high of 90.
Oh no!
Right? No fucking clouds or anything. And so I'm like, well, you need water. She's like, I just feel real sick. And then so I stopped and we got her water. She's like, oh, I feel slightly better now. I'm like, that's what I thought. Anyway, Octopath Traveler. I've been waiting for this game for a while.
I miscalculated aggressively. I thought I was going home on Friday like I always do, but I forgot I'm going to be at that hackathon. And it doesn't end early. It ends at normal working hours, end of day. So I'm going to be so tired that I'm just going to pass out here and not go home.
Damn.
So no Octopath for me until later in the weekend.
Blat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we could talk about that later, but I think that's cool. I miss doing that stuff.
We'll bring it up during weeks.
Yeah. All right, we can move on to I don't know what this is. I'm not on
newest.
Oh man,
Reddit event.
See, you guys said the Guild Wars thing was big. This is the thing I was hearing about on Reddit.
That was more about the Guild Wars 2 community. This is all of Reddit knows about this. So I think it was about a week ago. The subreddit Thanos did nothing wrong for appreciating.
Did you say Thanos?
What did I just say?
Thanos.
You said Thanos.
I mispronounced it then.
Yeah, you did.
Thanos.
God, get it right.
Point is, a lot of people appreciate this villain, and I'm in that party. He did nothing wrong. Well, he did one thing wrong, but he did a lot of things wrong. But a lot of people think that he did nothing wrong. The mods of the sub, in true tradition, decided that we're going to just emulate the thing that he did that wasn't wrong and just ban half the users of the subreddit.
Wow.
So Reddit's like, this is fun, let me get in. So everyone got in today, and I think today was Snap Day.
It was.
So they
yesterday.
Yesterday was Snap Day. They banned 350,000 users from that subreddit, and now the page is just filled with memes about whether they survived or not.
But so here's the rest of the story. For one thing, Josh Brolin and the Russo brothers were all tweeting about this, and Josh Brolin actually did a little video. Apparently, I didn't watch it, but there was at the top of the Reddit of the Thanos did wrong, and of course all of Reddit, because it was the biggest posts for like the last week was every day's post. Josh Brolin did some kind of video as Thanos talking about it, and then both Russo brothers tweeted and joined in, and actually, hilariously enough, one Russo brother got banned and one didn't.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
And that's pretty funny.
The best part is that so everyone, obviously all the banned people were kicked out of the subreddit. They joined a new subreddit called the Inside the Soulstone.
Oh shit, that's funny.
That's amazing.
If you whenever you would go to the front page of Reddit today, there are posts. I don't know if there's still any up there. It doesn't look like there are right now. There would be posts from r/Thanos did nothing wrong and r/Inside the Soulstone. Look, actually, hold on. At this second, the fifth, under hot on Reddit, the sixth post is a picture of a t-shirt called I survived this, with the words I survived the snap. And it says, if this post gets 10,000 points, I'll give 100 shirts to 100 random people who survived the snap. And the post has 36,000.4 likes.
I love this. One from Thanos, nothing wrong. MFW, I didn't get banned. It's the dude reviewing the Popeyes with, my disappointment is immeasurable, my day is ruined.
Oh, God.
Like, I wonder if I can, if I go to r/Inside the Soulstone, I think there's also a petition to make this subreddit private. so that only people who were actually banned by this wave can get in here. Oh my god, my face when I was banned, but not my wife, and it's from Guardians 1 when Chris Pratt cranks his middle finger up on the Oh my god.
That's kind of fun. That's pretty fun, though. That's fun.
Yeah, it seems...
From forcing a user to eat 100 Oreos for an anime announcement to this shit, I love Reddit. This is what I live for.
Oh, I
See
fucking
dumb people
hate
on the internet
Reddit,
do
but
stupid
still,
stuff.
some good things come out of it. But yeah, so that's a hilarious thing. Ooh, I can contribute to this discussion too.
Oh, Darksiders.
Oh, Darksiders 3.
Darksiders 3 got a release.
So I've wanted to Let's Play Darksiders 1 for a while now, and I still think I'm going to get around to it someday, because that game is really fun, and Darksiders 2 is kind of meh.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I thought Darksiders 3 was dead.
It was for a long time. It was for a long time because THQ shut down.
Yeah.
That was why. And then Deep Silver picked it up. And I don't remember I think the same guys are developing it as did 1 and 2. But obviously Deep Silver is now publishing the game.
Right.
Tyler, I made the comment to you before the show, but I'll say it again for everyone at home watching. The whole reason we're excited for this game is because someday we want to live the dream that was promised at the end of Darksiders 1.
Yeah. And that was... Yeah, Is it co-op? Is that what we want?
So, yeah, Freeman, did you ever play Darksiders 1?
No, I haven't.
So, do you know the idea of the game at all?
Not really.
Okay, you're one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and you basically accidentally get tricked into starting the apocalypse early. Then you get locked away for like a few thousand years, and then you come back and Earth is fucked. And at the end of the game, you basically unravel that one guy has secretly been turning evil this whole time, and he's gone crazy. But the apocalypse technically was never triggered. There's these like 7 seals, and as soon as they're all broken, the apocalypse actually starts. And
yeah, you play Legend of Zelda.
It's
pretty great.
It honestly is like a more M-rated Zelda game. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's a fun game. There's literally a portal gun.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It's literally a gun that shoots portals that are blue and yellow, or blue and orange.
Like, they do a lot of callbacks to a lot of games, or tributes, references, whatever you call it.
Either way, though, it was actually a pretty fun and well put together game. And then at the very end of the game, you beat the last boss fight, and War sort of dies, but then doesn't and comes back. Oh no, War dies, but right after that, the 7th seal gets broken, and for some reason that brings him back to life or gives him power, and it's enough to pull him back from almost dead. But then, after you beat the last boss, War looks up into the sky and sees 3 different colored meteors coming towards him, which you can assume are the other 3 horsemen of the apocalypse.
And then you're like, oh, and then it cuts out. And
then it cuts to black, and then Darksiders 2 is you playing as... So there's War, Death, Fury, and Strife in this, instead of... I think Fury and Strife aren't real horsemen. They're like Pestilence and something else. But either way, I don't really care.
Famine.
Yeah,
I care. My immersion.
All right. Anyway.
Oh wait, I'm starting it early. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So the second game is Death. Right after the prologue of Darksiders 1, when War is locked away for a while by his bosses for fucking up.
I'll keep it real. I haven't played it.
I did. I played it once, and it was okay. They basically tried to change it in kind of a more open world kind of game. Honestly, it wasn't super good. I personally liked the first one a lot more. But you play as Death, and you basically end up... The whole quest is to basically actually get War freed, which... Darksiders 1, they didn't even have that story written, so it's not really clear how much that actually mattered. But basically, at the end of Darksiders 2, Death sacrifices his life to jump into this Well of Souls thing to get War's soul out, or I don't fucking know. I don't remember that well. Either way, Death is kind of out of the picture, and now in Darksiders 3, from the trailers, it looks like you're now playing as Fury, a third horse, the only female horseman in this universe. And very clearly in the trailer, War is still chained up, and for some reason, what is it, Tyler? You have to go defeat the 7 deadly sins?
No, I didn't actually look it up. I saw it today, and I didn't get a chance to.
That, like, the personification of the deadly sins have been released because of War's fuck up or something, so Fury has to go kill them all.
Wait, so how did 2 fit into the ending of 1, or did it not at all?
It didn't. The end... 1 is actually still the farthest point in the timeline.
Oh, so everything else happens before 1.
Yeah, it's prologue of 1, then 2, and it looks like 3 at least starts in there as well, then the rest of 1.
All right, let's be real here. The writing could use some work, but...
It could, absolutely, but...
Still
just
fun.
The potential...
Yeah.
Of playing the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse with totally different, radically different powers... all having their own different horses and everything. Who the fuck wouldn't want to play that game?
Yeah. This one looks pretty fun, too. I saw some gameplay of it.
Yeah, she's like got a whip now. It looks like
some God of War.
I don't want to say, I was going to say God of War, but it's like old God of War with
shit.
the chains whipping around. But now that God of War's not God of War anymore, we could use a new God of War.
I mean, spoiler, you do get the Blades of Chaos.
Wait, really?
Yes.
I actually super didn't fucking know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either until my friend spoiled it for me. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Is it part of the story?
It is a part of the story.
Oh, shit. I got to go back to watching the Let's Play I was watching of it.
Yeah, there's a reason why he has them.
That's... as long as I know he still has them, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because the whole time you're like, well, what the fuck happened? And then the thing happens.
He just has bandages on his arms because look at me, I ripped them off. It implies that he ripped them off, right? Because he has these bandages on his arms.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. After the end of 1 and he becomes the God of War, they become detached from him. Or sorry, no, they get ripped off of him at the end of 1 because like Ares is like, oh, I will strip you of all your magic. Haha, there's nothing you can do. And then there's a scene where he gets like hung up and like Ares rips the fucking Blades of Chaos off his arms.
Owie.
So that at that point, like he was no longer contracted to Ares. So, but the scars remained. And I think that's why he like kept the bandages on. But yeah, ever since then, he never had the blades attached to his arms.
You're right. But
yes.
Either way, he still has the bandages on, and from what I saw of the beginning of the game, it's always that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm kind of excited. I haven't seen much of it, but honestly, this is one of the games that, I mean, well, problem is Yakuza 0 is coming out in less than a month on PC,
yeah.
And I gotta fucking Let's Play that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another Let's Play that I meant to start recording today, and I still might, that will either come out tomorrow or in 3 days, depending on how soon I get to it, if it's today or tomorrow. But I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, Darksiders 3, November 27th. It's a little ways off, so thankfully it'll be the end of the year. We'll see how many other games there are, but still. Pretty excited. It's literally a whole series carried on one cutscene, but it doesn't matter. All right, what is this thing?
Yeah, what is this?
Oh, what is this? Oh, yeah. So, sorry, I was not paying attention to the list.
You put it here.
I did put it here, just like the other thing. I wasn't paying attention. So,
Oh my god!
Big news: Batman Rebirth number 50. This is the thing that everyone and their mother. I know, boring as shit. I know.
I honestly happened to be
I know.
yawning, but I figured it was
I know.
thematic, so I didn't lean away from the mic.
Yeah. For over a year now, right? Like last year in the Batman universe, Batman proposed to Catwoman, right?
Oh, finally.
Aw.
Yeah, and so then there's been this huge buildup in this saga, and like all these really like basically this big event of Batman, coming to the conclusion like, oh shit, I'm getting married, I gotta do all these things, and then they're casually trying to learn more about each other and going through the motions of yada yada yada. But basically, it's a huge buildup, and they, DC has been building this up for so long, and I'm just gonna spoil it because I know you guys don't read the comics.
Nope.
You probably can tell where I'm going with this. So after all that stuff, at the very end of this issue, they're about to get married. They pick the spot, and then all of a sudden, they're like, they both said no.
Oh my god, it's How I Met Your Mother all over again.
I
Seriously though,
have not been so infuriated
it's so
while
boring.
reading and I'm so mad because the writing has been like stellar this entire time. Like I don't think a single issue has been bad. The writer Tom King on it has like knocked it out of the park.
And
then this happened. And you know what? I was kind of wondering, right? I was like, man, I'm really interested in trying to see how it goes. But then I was seeing, ads in the comic, right? Like, oh, make sure to pick up Catwoman #1. Like after this, like she's fighting like multiple people, and then it's like it looks like, and then the other ad, Batman was fighting Mr. Freeze, Dr. Freeze, and that's like, huh. It doesn't look like anything's changing. What the fuck is up? All just to find out, oh, I see. It's just gonna go.
They're just
It's
ignoring
gonna go
everything.
on,
So
and
boring.
we're just gonna ignore the fact that this happened. It's not like Hush, where Hush was like that one story Val was telling me about, which they also like that stuff is canon, right? Like that stuff, like it's not like a redone story, this new Batman, but like they mention it, but like even in Hush, like they get together and they're like, all right, maybe this isn't gonna work out, but this time it's like, no, we're gonna make it work. And then even fucking Superman's like, yo, you're gonna be fucking awesome, Alfred, you're gonna be my best man. And I'm like, oh man, I can't fucking take this, I can't do it, too many emotions. And then this happens, blue balls, everybody, and I have no one to talk to
that's
about
seriously
it.
pretty lame.
It's so lame. It's so lame. It's that's how I'm feeling right now. I haven't looked up actually any chat forums about it, but I feel like I really should. Actually, there's an article on IGN I found, why Batman and Catwoman's wedding left us disappointed. I'm gonna read that after I'm done here, or after we're done.
Sounds like a plan.
But yeah, so that was it. Batman, the long-awaited Batman 50, the wedding, shitty, super shitty.
That sucks.
It feels bad.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right.
Time to head to
So-
Batman's new country of origin, though.
But-
Oh
Speaking of-
my god.
Speaking of major letdowns, it's time for the Weeb shit.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so this weekend was an amazing weekend. It's the weekend that I'm always pissed I'm not a part of because Anime Expo is this weekend, which means Announcement City. So I'm just going to run through them real quick. First of all, we got the trailer for the second half of Hero Academia Season 3, where they show off all the shit that I already knew because I got spoiled to very minor details. But more importantly, they showed off the opening theme in the background of the trailer. And just as I predicted, it sounds super duper generic. So I can't wait to see the animation that goes with it, because I feel like this is one of those songs where it's like, it's really not going to rock the boat. This is like your standard anime opening. But we'll find out in like 4 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank
Moving
God.
Gotta see it. Gotta keep going.
Gotta go fast, because otherwise we're going to be spending an hour talking about weeb shit like last week.
Yeah, really.
So one of the big things about Anime Expo is it's a lot of these panels, the Japanese staff for these shows are there. And in Japan, if they have a panel, You don't take pictures. You don't take video. Nothing leaks. So obviously everything's going to leak unofficially. So what it did get leaked was that for JoJo Part 5, they showed off the first episode of the series, which has the very famous scene where JoJo's accomplice licks his face and says, "You taste like a traitor." So everyone was highly anticipating seeing this, and some of the footage did leak slightly. It's really shitty quality, but we got to hear what everyone sounds like. We got to hear some of the main themes. They showed off the entire voice cast for the show. Everything about this looks really exciting, and I can't wait for October to watch the new JoJo, which we'll probably talk about week to week.
New JoJo.
Moving on to things that actually pissed everyone the fuck off. They talked about the new Dragon Ball Super movie, where they decided to reveal who the villain they hinted at in the trailer was going to be, and they revealed the villain is Broly.
Oh yeah,
Broly is now a canon villain with a different backstory in this movie that is now part of the official Dragon Ball lore.
Honestly, can we say it's a surprise considering how popular he is and the fact that he was one of the first DLC characters in Fighter Z?
Hold on, for the record, he's popular, but everyone fucking hates that it's Broly.
I'm sure they do.
Everyone's
but
pissed. Like, why the fuck is it Broly? Like, I don't want to see this. And
why does no one care?
The kicker is that they picked Broly as the villain because of how much Western fans love him and they thought they'd love to see him. But the West is pissed it's Broly. They want someone new and exciting.
Damn,
This may potentially backfire.
I mean, it's not like the movie's not going to go crazy.
It's weird.
Especially if it's a canon movie.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
which he never was. Like
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
I don't think any movie is technically canon.
No,
not.
No, what's it called? Dead Zone. Dead Zone's canon.
And Dead Zone's
canon.
Yeah. Like,
well,
if
the
Dead Zone,
thing is, they went and they re-edited part of that movie to be in a couple episodes. So
I was like, because here's the thing: because if it wasn't canon, that short part between the end of the Namek saga and when Trunks shows up would not make sense at all.
You know what? It doesn't need to make sense because I skipped over it because it sucks when I watched Dragon Ball for the second time.
You're right. Garlic Jr. is a little bitch.
Dude, that shit is like season 1 of The Office right there.
Dang.
Just don't even register it that it exists.
The point is, the last Dragon Ball movie was Resurrection of F, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that much. And it kind of pissed me off with what
Battle of Gods was fucking solid, though.
Battle of Gods was great. But that was the thing. Battle of Gods introduced new characters and concepts. That was really cool. Resurrection of
Bulma!
If you take out the Super Saiyan Blue bullshit, nothing in that was new other than Frieza learn how to train.
Yep.
And now we're like, hey, remember that villain that was pretty cool in the first movie, kind of meh in the second, and actually sucked in the third movie he was in? Well, we're bringing him back for a fourth one. And that's what everyone's hearing. No one wants Bio Broly Part 2. And hopefully we don't.
Come on, he's gonna be great this time. It's fine.
Honestly, I'm just excited to see it because the animation looks dope.
I mean, they do seem to be changing the animation style.
It's interesting. They're doing this for Dragon Ball. The last Pokemon movie and the new one are using very different animation styles from their shows. I'm wondering if there's going to be a trend going forward of having movies that have just vastly different animation styles from their original series. Please, for the love of God, make the next One Piece movie look watchable.
Look
watchable. Holy shit. Anyway, character designs. Moving on. Live action Gundam movie also got announced. This got like
Jesus.
Wait, what? I didn't hear about this.
IGN had a blurb on it, but like there was literally nothing other than the fact that it is being made. They did not announce if it was a Japanese studio or a US studio. I'm assuming it's Japanese, and I'm willing to bet it's because of how well received the Gundam was in Ready Player One.
Are you for real?
Of course it fucking was.
Dude, people love that shit. So I'm willing to bet they're going to base off the RX-78, the original Gundam. The point is, we'll be getting announcements soon about this, just how big that franchise is.
Man, I wish I cared. I had enough time in my life to watch Gundam other than Gundam Wing.
Dude, you need to watch the last one that came out. It was really good.
Was it Unicorn?
No. Well, yes, but the last TV one, Iron Blood Orphans. Just because it's...
Why'd you say yes to Unicorn and then say, but also it's actually Iron Blood Orphans?
So, Unicorn started like 8 years ago and took that long to finish coming out. Iron Blood Orphans was the most recent Gundam to be made.
Fuck you, Tim.
and it was good. It was like
I
it
was waiting.
I was trying
saw
to.
you
I'm
see it
sorry,
on
Freeman.
Facebook.
I'm sorry. Fucking Tim posted this dumbass shit in the
What?
chat, and I can't hold back.
Oh, the face. I don't even have it open.
It's
I
so
saw. I had it
stupid.
open. I saw Tyler's face pop up, and there's.
Yes, prequel meme in the group chat.
God damn it.
Someone get
Hello
Luigi.
there, General Christobi. Fucking stupid.
So the only reason I did that was because I remembered scrolling through my Reddit's fun app. There was a post on the front page of Reddit the other day during this whole Thanos thing where they said that Thanos did nothing wrong actually surpassed r/prequel memes in the amount of people who were subscribed.
It's treason.
That's how
then.
big it got. I'm pretty sure that was one of. There had to have been multiple memes. Anyway, keep going keep talking about the Gundam.
All right,
I'm sorry.
That's all we know about the Gundams. I mean, all right,
Okay.
but go watch Iron Blood Orphans. If you take like the characters of Gurren Lagann, but get rid of the super robot aspects and insert this gritty Earth versus Mars war with child soldiers, it's really good. I highly recommend it. But onto more hype stuff. Keep with the theme of openings, because we did that with Heroes Season 3. Attack on Titan Season 3 had information about its opening theme announced, because unlike the first 2 seasons, the opening theme is not being done by that one guy. It's being done by... I did not even expect this announcement, so I don't expect you guys to know who these two are, so I'm going to explain. It's being done by X Japan featuring Hyde. Hyde is the lead singer of the band Larkin Ciel, who did the second Full Metal Alchemist opening that ended up being used for the first 2 openings because Funimation couldn't get the opening right. So if you ever hear the song Ready, Steady, Go, that's him. He did a bunch of openings for Blood Plus. He didn't sing in it, but he wrote the opening for Darling and the Franks, and that song was pretty good. Hyde is a really good writer. And X Japan has to be like the best Japanese band ever. They single-handedly
Japan is
defined
pretty famous.
the metal movement in Japan. They are great. They were my first concert. I went to go see them the first time they came to the U.S. When they went to New York City, and then I saw them again when they played Madison Square Garden 2 years ago. They are amazing.
Wow, they actually played in Madison? Jeez.
Yeah, as they got brought there as part of back when the New York Anime Festival got rolled into Comic-Con, they were brought as one of the guests before New York Anime Festival spun off into whatever it is now. To listeners, if you haven't heard anything from X Japan, go listen to my favorite song, Kurenai. It's on YouTube. I'm beyond excited to hear what they do here. X Japan is one of my favorite bands to listen to.
I mean, what's bigger than My Hero in the U.S. or what was bigger than My Hero before
That's right.
My Hero?
Sword Art Online.
No, it was Attack on Titan, you motherfucker. Motherfucker.
But yeah, a lot of hardcore fans are very upset, but everyone who's in the know is very appreciative that we're getting this prolific of a routine for the opening. So we're all getting real hyped. The first episode comes out in 17 days from the recording of this podcast. So I'm getting real excited.
Side note, I had to send one more picture because it was literally perfectly applicable to all of us.
Fucking Christ.
God. Tim, please just make these memes in the video so the listeners can die along.
Yeah, I wish you. Yeah, you should just a quick flash of 5 seconds what the meme is. But then you know what?
The other problem is no one watches the video version. Everyone just listens to it anyway.
Whatever.
I mean, anyway. They do comment on YouTube. So.
We didn't even watch it yet. You didn't even look at what it was.
I looked at it. I'm very excited. The picture you just posted?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw it.
Oh, Facebook doesn't say that you saw it, so
yeah, no, it's good. I like this one. Spicy.
So for those of you at home, I'll describe it so that
it's
worth. It's a picture of. So they edited. What is it? They edited Mace Windu's face onto Kaiba in Yu-Gi-Oh, and they replaced the card with "The Senate will decide your fate," and then it's Palpatine's
I am the Senate.
And then he flips his card over, and it's a trap card that says "I am the Senate." And then it's Windu getting hit by lightning. It's fucking perfect.
Excuse me, that's not a trap card. He also revealed a.
It's Exodia. No one's ever summoned him.
You're right. It's not a trap card, but I figure it makes more sense as a trap card because why else would he be responding to fucking?
Because did you not watch the episode? Yeah,
nobody's ever summoned him.
No one's ever summoned Exodia.
Of Dota 2.
Not a trap card. Oh my God. Hey Freeman, speaking of sword art,
Yeah, that was my transition, but we were too big on Attack on Titan. Sword Art Online 3, which is gonna cover I'm gonna say widely regarded, but it's not really. It's just among Japanese fans, and their opinion doesn't matter because us Western weebs have a different palette for taste here.
Wow.
The series of books that Sword Art Online 3 is going to cover is regarded as the best part of the series. And the director has said on multiple occasions that this adaptation will cover the entire storyline. And some fans went and pieced it out, and they said, unless for some reason they try to cram an obnoxious amount of pages and dialogue into individual episodes, this thing has got to be 52 episodes.
Oh, wow.
This is going to be a 52 episode show. Now, this is becoming rare and rare. The last time I heard about one of those being announced, it was Black Clover. And Black Clover is a Shonen Jump series, so I'm not really surprised by that. But to hear that Sword Art's going to get 52 episodes, when the entire runtime of the existing series is only 52 episodes, this is pretty substantial. I'm hoping it's good. After GGO, I have hope that SAO can pull off a good series. They just need to not be terrible. But you never know. Speaking of stuff that I don't think is going to be terrible, Studio Trigger, hot off the disappointment that was the Darling in the Franxx finale, comes to show their new principal artwork for that show Promare we talked about, 18 weeks ago?
Billions of years ago?
Billions of years ago. The one that just looked like this cool dude with a giant sword, like a cloud striped sword, but he kind of had communist hair, holding a sword above some giant robot in the background. And then they showed off the same arm and they zoomed in on the face of the protagonist, and bam, it's Kamina.
It's actually Kamina.
So they proceeded to spend 10 minutes explaining that this isn't Kamina and it has no relation to Gurren Lagann. Because they already knew exactly what everyone was going to ask.
This ain't Kamina, then why'd you make him look like him then, motherfucker?
Because they want the Gurren fans to keep putting up their bullshit.
They do, but what they don't realize is that, my one buddy said yesterday, he's like, if it's Studio Trigger, I'm gonna suck their dick pretty much. Anything Studio Trigger, I'm gonna watch it. Like he said, I have one friend, right, who he loves Darling in the Franxx, and he was like, yo, Tyler, you need to watch this right. And I'm like, no. I gave it the 4 episodes, and my buddy, who watches so much anime, told me no, that he couldn't even bring himself to recommend it. He's like, well, your friend's wrong. Damn, I'm like, I don't think he understands your power, Friedman.
He doesn't know.
I don't think he understands. But I was like, I'm gonna take his word for it.
It's not. It's not worth it. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's not worth it.
Yeah. All right.
Let's just get through the last of the announcements. A lot of these have stuff that is entertaining to not just me, but other members of the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I put my shitty one on first. Anyway, so Netflix announced all their anime releases, and the first one, and I can't believe this got announced. They're making an anime out of Ingress, the game that came before Pokemon Go.
I was going to say the game, Google game?
Yes, the Google game.
What the fuck?
That's right.
Why?
I don't know.
No one played that game.
I don't know how Niantic keeps doing this, but they're doing this. They have an anime now. They convinced Nintendo of America that, we should be your new mainline console game. How the fuck did this company do this?
That's a good question.
I'm just mad.
Actually, you know what? People are regular listeners and commenters. Show of hands. How many of you have played Ingress? I had to play Ingress, and I only knew about it because at the MotoGP or the We Play internship, they made me play it for research and stuff. Only reason why I found out about it.
I totally remember that it existed. I heard about it because I was listening to a Google podcast at the time, but I did not use it whatsoever.
Yeah, because it was bad.
Yep. But speaking of animes that are badass and awesome and can't wait for them to be on Netflix.
Whip animations for days.
2 anime that I actually give a shit about got announced. I'm super fucking hype.
Castlevania.
Netflix announced finally the release date for the super badass Castlevania Season 2. October 26th. Again, just in time for Halloween.
Nice.
Wait, did they say it's going to be more than 4 episodes? Because
it's 8.
Oh, 8 episodes. Great.
Tyler, look, come on. Considering how good the first 4 were, I'd rather them take it slow and easy.
4
you know?
wasn't no here, because you know why? They put out shit like Luke Cage and fucking Jessica Jones, and they're like, oh, we know that this could do with less episodes, but you know what? We're gonna make it 13 episodes anyway, just to piss everybody off and waste everyone's time.
Do you want to know why they do that? Because it's easier to point a camera at real life people than it is to physically draw it.
I don't care. My mom pays $10 a month. I want to see some dope ass animation. All right. My mom doesn't pay this much money just so I can just stare at Mike Coulter's back the whole time, even though I know that's what the females want.
Pep.
Speaking of which, this season of Luke Cage wasn't that great in my opinion. That's all I'm going to say about it.
All right, focusing on good shows, Tyler. Tyler, we're talking about good shows. Castlevania Season 1, and Season 2 should be great. But more importantly, Godzilla, a city on the edge of battle, is finally coming.
Oh my god.
Oh my
so this is I talked about it before, the 3-part Godzilla animated movie series, I guess you could call it. It is it's been chugging along in Japan. I think it came out in May, the sequel, and they've already talked about the third one, but the second one is finally coming to Netflix on July 18th. It was like only announced like last week or something freaking like that. I am super excited for this, obviously, because I'm just always hyped for Godzilla shit that comes out, in the modern age. But yeah, the first one wasn't, it wasn't like super earth shattering, but it was fun to see an animated Godzilla that's really different. And there's a pretty cool, like, I don't want to call it a twist because that's kind of a lame way to describe it, but just the way the movie unfolds is pretty neat. And the way they set up the second one, and the third one apparently has already been confirmed to have King Ghidorah in it, which is like the coolest fucking monster other than Godzilla to ever come out of that universe. So, and Mechagodzilla is supposed to be in the second one because they showed it off a little bit in the first movie. They basically were like, hey, we built Mechagodzilla just in time for us all to die and get kicked off Earth. So I'm assuming the plot of the second one is let's go turn on Mechagodzilla and have it fight Godzilla. But I can't wait to see. I'm excited. It comes out a week and a day from this recording. And
I'll watch Godzilla as long as Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla plays as the main theme every time. That's a great song. Have you not heard that song?
I know the song you're talking about.
Freeman.
Go Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah, they say he's got to go Godzilla. Woo! It's a great song. I love it. If they do that for the opening,
They'll never
watch
do that
it.
for the opening.
They won't because they're uncultured Japanese swine.
Oh my god, whatever. They didn't do that in the American one. Either American one.
Yeah, because they're also uncultured.
All right, whatever. I'm excited for this, and I'm just excited to have things that hold me over until the next American Godzilla movie, which, according to one of the podcasts I listened to, there were test screenings of. And
it's already done filming?
I think so. It's supposed to come out next year.
Yes, they're probably in post at this point.
I'm so excited. So excited for another Godzilla movie. Just like I was excited for Sicario 2, I'm excited for Godzilla 2. Because, man, oh man, those are series I actually give a shit about.
Let's go, Jira.
And I'll be able to spend money in the theater again by then, since I won't have gone to the movies 3 times in less than a week.
Oh my god. That's a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, I saw
That's a lot
Incredibles.
Of damage.
That's a lot. Now that you finally understand where that's from.
Yeah, I keep referencing that all the time now.
For those of you who don't know, JonTron's flex tape video, while we were bored, when I was back in New Jersey, I showed Freeman the JonTron flex tape video.
That was great. The video sharing was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to show you guys Bendigo.
Holy crap.
I'm sad.
I keep trying to show it to people. They don't want to watch it.
I'm not surprised. You should just show him the Witch Negro part. That's the
I'm
only
really
thing tame
sad.
enough.
Oh my god. I'm really sad that we didn't get to finish Harmon Quest Season 10. Or Episode 10.
Season 10.
Yeah. We didn't get to finish Harmon Quest Season 2.
Yeah.
But maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Which is
But
never...
anyway, I know. That seems likely. All right, Freeman, you can take back over. I'll relinquish control.
All right, because this week's coverage of the Waifu Wars is brought to you by the NFL on Fox. No, I'm not doing this bit again. So
funny.
Nothing has happened in a whole week in the Waifu Wars because vote manipulators have tainted the sanctity of this tournament. So I don't know if I brought it up last Tuesday, but they had to do revotes on 2 days worth of voting because they found that more than 100 votes were coming from. It was like 5 or 6 IP addresses had done 1 to 200 votes each. So like, all right, this is enough that this is bad. So they redid 2 whole days of voting, but redoing voting like broke the brackets. So they had to shut down the whole thing for the weekend because the guy who makes the bracket website was out for 4th of July weekend and wasn't going to be back till Sunday. And even then, he couldn't figure out how to switch which day of voting counts as the real one. So they didn't get to voting again until yesterday. So the Waifu Wars is exactly where we were a week ago. Megumi was eliminated, and life went on. But
wait, you said Megumin, right?
No, Megumi is still eliminated. That doesn't change.
No.
Yeah, but a lot of popular series have been completely knocked out. Kaon, gone. Monogatari series, gone. Konosuba, which Luigi loves, is still leading the polls. Now everyone's starting to get just a teensy bit angry that all of them are winning. So I expect some. This is the time in the tournament where the salt starts developing. People start hate picking against characters. So we're about to see some major upsets. I know today alone, the salt started flowing. Arena from Food Wars beat what's her name? The not villain from Kill la Kill.
The not villain?
She's not really the
woman.
Villain.
Yeah,
not the woman.
Chick.
The one in the white and blue uniform. What's her name? Oh my God.
Her name. I don't remember.
There you go. So she got eliminated by Arena by I think it was like 1,000 votes, and everyone's really upset because Kill la Kill is pushing strong this year. Ryuko is, best girl material right now. So the salt's flowing. Arena wins. Now Alice is up against the female protagonist from A Silent Voice, which everyone is, she doesn't have the majority of votes, but there's a lot of really passionate fans. So I expect there might be some salt picking today, and Alice is going to get eliminated out of revenge. But this will put us next week. We should be going through the quarterfinals into the semis. So hopefully I'll be able to talk to you guys about the Waifu Wars before the finals start, and then we can just talk about all the salt that's been going on. But that's it for the Waifu Wars. Hopefully the Russians don't hack this shit again and nominate
the Russians
that would be
Trump
nice.
as Best Girl 2018.
Blat.
Anyway, just moving on to the Spring 2018 wrap-up for actual real anime. I just want to talk about some of the stuff that I finished or I'm still in the middle of watching. The first one we hinted at, Darling in the Franxx. Or as the subreddit calls it, Disappointment in the Franxx.
Freeman, I know you're annoyed about this, but just to remind you, we are over an hour now.
I only have like 2 more things.
That's okay. I'm just for reference.
I know. Don't worry. These are all real short. So I was hesitant to make judgment until I saw the final episode, but Darling in the Franxx did it. They made a terrible ending to a show that was going so well till episode 15. Studio Trigger got asked this question at their panel about Promare this weekend. What happened with the ending of Darling in the Franxx? And they said, despite the fact that our name is top billing, A1 Pictures was really in charge. And right around episode 10's development, they said they wanted to change what the show was doing. They said it was too much about these characters going through puberty and there's not enough space battle action, which is why they rewrote the premise of the show after episode 15 to incorporate all the nonsense that happened. So Studio Trigger just kind of shrugged the shoulders and said, it wasn't us. That said, I don't think Darling in the Franxx was that good. I am not going to recommend this show to people. It didn't check off any of the things on my list that made it satisfying to watch. It just, there. I said it. The animation wasn't that great. Characterization fell flat in the second half. The mechas were non-existent. The plot took a fucking plunge off the deep end 15 episodes in. Ending, fucking blowed. I'm not recommending this show to people. Darling in the Franxx was a disappointment. Anime was a mistake.
There we go. Y'all heard it first.
But that said, That said, Sword Art Online GGO is actually really good, and I highly recommend it to everyone. If you play
Really?
Fortnite or you play PUBG, this was the Fortnite PUBG anime. It focused on the game and not the characters. Well, it focused a little bit on the characters. It was more about the game, which is way better than Kirito's bullshit in Sword Art Online. So if you like the first season of Sword Art Online, or you like Fortnite, go watch GGO. Now that said, don't watch Tokyo Ghoul Re. I'm
Tokyo Ghoul Re?
I'm only 4 episodes into this, and I'm lost. They basically retcon the entire second season so it doesn't exist anymore and expect you to read some of the manga, but not enough to know too much or it's not entertaining. So they jump in with the assumption that you've read some but not all of the manga. And then they decided, let's just fucking condense it. Let's take 50 chapters and condense it into 12 episodes. And apparently it was really bad. I haven't finished it yet. But then I heard announcements that there's a second season of Tokyo Ghoul Re. And this one is attempting to condense 120 chapters into 12 episodes. Despite all the criticism they got about how much they crammed shit in with both season 2, which flopped and they had to retcon it out, as well as the current season, they said, nah, fuck it. Let's condense twice as much into the next 12 episodes. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm like just as mad as when Megami got eliminated. I can't stand this shit.
Damn that mad.
There's a way to butcher a series, but I didn't expect him to go this far. Like Tokyo Ghoul 1 was good. Tokyo Ghoul 2, wow, I didn't think they could do anything that bad. Re, whoa, why are you still doing this? It's still awful. Re 2 was like, please for the love of God, just end it. Just stop.
Please put it down.
Stop.
Kill me.
Just kill me.
Kill me.
But that's it for the weeb shit.
Come on, do it. All right. So we're going to take a very quick break because I am dying of heat in my office. So I need to go grab a drink. But when we come back, we are going to talk about immersion in gaming. And, well, not even gaming in particular, just in general media, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, more directly, what can take you out of it and how badly that can damage the experience or not damage, really. So, we'll be back in a sec.
Stay tuned.
And we're back. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
It's time for the topic.
It's time for the topic, not the weeb shit. So the question on my mind today when what was that? Oh yeah, I was watching Ross's new game dungeon. I
didn't get to watch it yet. Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, so he was discussing the game The Crew by Ubisoft, and which I thought was interesting. It's a new game, and like he doesn't do a lot of new games, but he was explaining immersion, right? And how he goes, through the countryside and like through these dirt roads, and how like, anyone who has experienced dirt roads knows that most dirt roads off of a beaten path are very slim. Now, the ones in The Crew, however, are apparently car lengths wide, which doesn't really make sense. And he said, like, that really jars the experience for him when he goes through these parts of the country because it just doesn't make sense. And I'm thinking, man, me and my buddies, we talk about immersion breaking things all the time. So I figured we could talk about that today. I don't know where to start.
Like specific examples.
I mean, so what's a good example? I think character writing for me. Like, I'm just gonna jump into it. Like, there are some characters. Like, let's just say, oh yeah, I was talking to all my coworkers actually the other day about Star Wars, right? In the new Star Wars movie. So Tim, you'll be like, I felt your ears perk up. And I might have triggered it, but like we were talking about Luke Skywalker's character, right? And how we feel like the general consensus was the writing for Luke's character made so like it didn't make sense at all, and that pretty much the reality of the entire Last Jedi movie was so jarring that it just ruined the experience. Like, it took us out of the movie. And so, like, what immersion is, I guess I should start with like immersion, right? Immersion is when you get completely engrossed in something, almost to the point like where you are there, like, just like with Tolkien's writing, like you were in Middle Earth, like you smelled the soup, you felt the heat coming from Mordor, right?
Yep.
That's true immersion. Like when you forget everything around you and you are completely engrossed in the moment. And then, almost like the opening scene of The Last Jedi, right? It's like, oh man, we're in space, a conflict's about to happen, and then Poe Dameron makes a fucking mom joke. And it takes me out of the immersion. I'm no longer in space. I'm in fucking Spaceballs.
There you go.
And I didn't come to see Spaceballs.
The Schwartz Awakens.
The Schwartz Awakens. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about what is immersive to you guys, and what takes you out of it. Like, do you have any examples that have really taken you out of it, like recently?
If you want to go into the whole character writing, there's one trope. I don't like in the back of my head. I'm trying to think of a good example of this. I know I've seen it before, but I can't think of any right off the top of my head. But when your ally just suddenly betrays you for no fucking reason, anytime that happens, where don't get me wrong, I love betrayal stories. My favorite betrayal story, you've heard me talk about it on the podcast, Persona 5. Someone in your team betrays you, and surprise, it's really not a surprise who it is. You know from the get-go, it's probably this dude. There's no fucking way he's actually my friend. Ha, got him. He was the villain the whole time. And that's good. If you, the viewer, can't really piece things together, I understand if they want you to have the perspective of the protagonist who's completely blindsided by it. But every time they do it, I hate it because they give you no clue anything's going to happen. It's suddenly I'm evil. Look at me. And the second you do that, it's well, fuck you. I really don't care about, what's going on anymore because you're just going to change characters in the middle because it sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
That sudden change in the character abruptly, I don't like when it happens, and it usually gets me completely disconnected from the story.
It's jarring, and in a lot of those cases, it just really doesn't make sense. Especially when there's no motivation, you don't see it coming.
Yeah, I remember, tie back the Weeb shit. Here's another famous anime people hate on because it had all the pieces for a good show and then it failed to deliver. It was called Guilty Crown. In the first half, the protagonist's best friend, basically, he sacrificed himself because he's oh, you're going to lead this rebellion. And then 3 episodes later, they bring back the dude who sacrificed himself, and he's no, you were wrong the whole time. I'm going to kill you now. And it's what the fuck is going on? And that was the point where most people quit the show. But it was that kind of thing where it's you've just so distorted this character you've built up and just changed him for the sake of it, a convenient twist, that I can't do this. And that breaks my immersion in the story.
Tim, what do you got? I know you got something.
I can't.
Or should I tie your hands and say no Star Wars?
No,
don't do that. I want to hear this.
No.
Listeners want to hear this.
I can't think of. I'm trying to think of any specific examples off the top of my head, and I'm just struggling to. I know what does trigger it in general. Simply, if something breaks its own rules,
right?
That totally, I know that sounds obvious, but there's so many times where movies and shows establish a rule and then they break that rule, and then there's not even a hand-waving moment of oh, blah, blah, blah is the reason you broke through.
Oh, there's not even an explanation of why they were able to subvert the rule. It just kind of happens.
You can't establish your own rules and then just break them. That just defeats the purpose of the story. You're not clever. You're just cheating.
That's why I hate Sword Art Online, where the whole premise is if you die, you die. And then right at the end, right when the main character dies, he suddenly doesn't. And then he wins.
And then he wins because Kirito's fucking broken.
That's an example exactly what you spoke of, where they just break the rules for no reason. They don't even explain it. And that's just how it is.
Screw the rules. I have money.
I have money.
Now look, Exodia is a good way to break the rules, but you can't do that.
You got to present it. You got to present it in a way, but Kirito, perfect example, that character, at that point and beyond, he breaks that show for me.
Oh my God, every game he plays, he just violates the rules.
Yeah.
Oh, no one can use swords effectively in this game. Oh, you can't beat these enemies. They can't be killed. fuck it, he does it anyway.
He does it no matter what he does. He just does it because it's Kirito. There's no explanation or anything. He just does it.
Screw the rules. I'm emo.
Like, all right, my favorite example. They had one episode that I really liked where it showed off like he gets surrounded by a bunch of thugs and they start attacking him, but he's not taking any damage. And it was meant to show like how being high level in that game mattered because they couldn't even hurt him. His health regen was too high. But then they go into season 3 where there is no like being higher level. Everyone's at like max cap. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take on this army of 103 other players. It's like, fuck you. No one in equalized gear can do that.
But he's broken. And it's like when you stop to think about that, right? Like it's one thing if the, like whatever you're into, like the movie, the show, if it engrossed you so much that you could maybe even forget it. But you know it's fucked up when the show or whatever allows you to take a pause and think about it, which Sword Out really gives you a lot of time to do over the course of its seasons.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's jarring, especially when you're invested in something. What else? I remember my friends and I were talking about Breaking Bad and how like there was a couple of like filler episodes. I think filler episodes can really take it out of you, you know, especially if you're binge watching stuff and you're watching it and you're like, wow, this literally 40 minutes of Bryan Cranston tracing a fly around this lab. like what am I doing with my life? Oh yeah, it's such an interesting episode. Everyone enjoyed it.
I feel like all my examples are just me weeb shit. But I remember when they brought back Toonami and they're like, oh yeah, let's show Dragon Ball Z again, one episode a week, and they jumped into the Android Saga. Yeah. Holy shit! Trying to watch that show week to week was miserable. I didn't want to watch that anymore. It was like jumping in the middle of a grunting sequence. Then that's a continuation from last week's grunting sequence because the androids showed up. Like that was just like, this is just not entertaining anymore. I don't want to see this.
Damn.
Despite the fact that if I have it on DVD and I can binge it, I really don't mind.
I don't know. How would we, if we were writers, how would we improve not jarring like sequences? Like how could we make that better? Would it be to follow the rules? Is it as simple as that, you think?
I'll
go ahead.
Go first.
Go ahead.
A lot of times, like I'll see groups try to like recut movies or stuff because they're like, this scene has no meaning. And if you can go in and say, you know, why is this scene important? And if someone says, oh, it shows you what their daily life is like. No, that's not an important scene. You can convey that through dialogue. I don't need to watch someone making breakfast to know that, oh look, they make breakfast every morning.
But, like, especially if it detracts from right like the tone.
Like if you don't want to have a scene where like the character's like crying while he's cooking or some shit to show that he's upset, that scene has a purpose, has a meaning. You're trying to show something to the user. You're trying to say something that you don't want to put into words. But not everything has to be done that way.
Right.
I don't know. I remember we had one teacher who, whenever we wrote papers in high school, she would use the phrase "show, don't tell," and I'm actually kind of the opposite of that. There's a lot of stuff where it doesn't need to be seen. You can explicitly tell someone about things. You don't need to pad out for time to get a point across. If you can be blunt about it, you can, but to a certain degree. And that's kind of what happens with filler. It's not important. It doesn't matter. And the reason for filler, varies. Sometimes it's stuff like, oh, we ran out of chapters for Dragon Ball. Quick, have Goku power up for 30 minutes or some shit. But especially in shows like Breaking Bad, I wouldn't expect there to be filler for something like that. That's 100% the writers chose to do that.
Right.
And I feel like that's a bad decision.
I agree. But it's there. I get like it's there for a reason, and I wish I had the opportunity to speak to more professional writers about that kind of stuff and why they do that. Like I know Disney does it because they've been in this weird thing where they need to have like at least 30% of their movies be comedy, despite the very serious subject matter, because that's what sells.
It's the Marvel effect.
It is. And
having a little bit of humor in a serious movie works for Marvel, and they're going under the assumption that it will work for all of their franchises.
Or if you're Ant-Man, it's a lot of humor.
But see, and but that's fine because you like the tone that they go with for Ant-Man, right? It's supposed to be like half a comedy, half an action. Like fucking Paul Rudd's in it, right? You can't like everybody knows you can't take that motherfucker serious. So like that makes sense, right? I've never seen Ant-Man, but like
okay, good. I just want to make sure no one else takes him seriously because I
Did
can't.
you not see the first?
No, I
Are you
didn't.
saying the first or
I
both?
I did not see
I didn't see any of the Ant-Man movies. I just saw Civil War, and I couldn't take him seriously the entire time. Like, is everyone else watching the same movie I am?
Oh no, yeah, no, for real. Like, and even they know you can't take Paul Rudd seriously. Like, look at all the rest of his movies he's done.
Okay, thank God.
You can't, and I'm sure that was the reason why they casted him. But Thor Ragnarok, on the other hand, just think of all the serious shit that has happened in that movie, and then just the jokes that are placed in there, like that fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these bad things happen. Thor lost his dad. He lost his hammer. All this bad stuff happened, right? Like pretty much the whole movie was Thor just getting his ass kicked.
Yep.
And they throw all these jokes in there, like it's like no, this is depressing. Like what the fuck? I don't want to hear jokes.
I think Ragnarok actually does it really well, though.
I was surprised at how, like...
Yeah, I really enjoyed Ragnarok. I think it's a great contrast, and it kind of takes the sting out of a lot of the really, like you said, kind of earth-shattering stuff that does happen.
No, I want to feel it. Like when that stuff comes on, I really want to feel like the stuff that they did in Infinity War, right? Where they just like gut punch the shit out of you. And they don't pull the punches. Like that's what I look for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like I want to feel that. Like if I want to laugh, like I'll go see like a funny movie or something like that. But like if I see potential in a movie, especially with the subject matter, right? I'm looking for a more serious story, and I feel like Thor Ragnarok really broke it for me with that kind of stuff. It's like almost same thing as like Last Jedi, right? It's like you got. Like these rebels are on the brink of death, and they're about to pretty much go on what is a suicide mission to blow up this fucking dreadnought. Yet we're gonna sling jokes because apparently that's the only plan of attack that they have.
All right, I'm gonna counterpoint you on this one because there's one scene in Ragnarok I really love, and it kind of fits the bill for what you don't like. So in Ragnarok, there's that scene where Thor and Loki are in the elevator, and they're like, "How are we gonna distract these guards?" And they're like, "Oh. Do you want to call for help?" And the next scene is them faking injury. And the timing on that scene where it goes from very serious to something like absurdly comedic, but then you realize it's all part of like a plan. That worked well. That sudden shift in tone and then shift back to exactly where it was. In Star Wars, when Poe's making Yo Mama jokes over the radio during their bombing run, that it didn't cause a shift in tone. The tone tried to stay the same, but his jokes did not match what the scene was trying to convey, and it came off as jarring. And I think that's more of the problem with the newer Star Wars and Last Jedi, is that when it's going to be funny, it's not in a section where the movie's trying to be funny. It's making a joke in a scene where everyone else is trying to be serious. And I think that's more of the issue with the comedy in Last Jedi.
I get what you're saying, but that was matched with each other. Like the scene was meant to be like in Thor Ragnarok in the elevator, right?
The other thing I'd say about that though is Thor tried to do the dark and serious thing, and that was why the Dark World failed so much and wasn't that good, because it was so just look how dark and bleak and serious everything is.
Or it was just written bad.
I think it's what the Marvel movies have always had that tone, and Star Wars usually hasn't.
That's part of it. Immersion break, like you said, yeah, like that's taking it back. Like Marvel movies, especially lately, like it definitely feels like ever since around like Guardians 1, when Marvel saw how successful that was, they really started to inject a little more humor into everything.
Oh, and Deadpool.
Oh God, yeah.
They're like, yo, we need some more comedy in this bitch.
Yeah. It just seems like it's been taking off for them, but Star Wars, never had any of that. Like you said, Freeman, it's always had this much more heavy feel to it.
Yeah, I feel like it's reflecting on it, like on like a lot of their stuff, and I'm not really a big fan of it. It feels like it's just the quick jokes. I don't know. It, like that kind of takes me out of it. Like that takes me out of the immersion a lot. Like especially when I get into a scene, I'm like, oh man, like some shit's about to go down, and then Carl Urban jumps out of the fucking ship with 2 M16s.
Yep. Yeah, that, dude.
That was like, I was like, okay, all right.
Behold my stuff.
My stuff. I mean, that scene was okay. I'm like, you know what? I'll take this scene.
The fucking shake.
The fucking shake.
Carl Urban just working the shake weight is just too much.
I heard the birds echoing through all of our mics.
They were in fact recorded.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I heard it in real life, and then I heard it through your mic.
Weird.
It's like a Doppler effect. Anyway, going on.
Wait, where were we? No, I forgot. Oh yeah,
Carl
Urban.
But that's not immersion breaking. Even though you've never seen an M16 in a Thor movie, they set it up.
They do. No.
He shows off. Look at this cool stuff.
It's just the act of him jumping off. Like it just looks silly. The scene.
I'm not trying to even talk about that. I'm saying in terms of the whole immersion breaking thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, just like the act of having those items. Yeah, no, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind him having those.
But the single. I think the biggest problem here is that immersion breaking is such a broad thing because there's different kinds of immersion breaking almost. Like, Tyler, we've talked about how Halo Reach fucked things up royally because of the story going wrong.
Yeah.
That breaks your immersion too. How the fuck am I supposed to care about any of this when this shouldn't be this way? Honestly, same thing for Star Wars with me. There's no single, well,
it's a lot of things.
If I rewatched again, I can think about it.
It's a lot of things. Like
okay, that's why Rogue One is so enjoyable. The only thing that you might fault as like kind of breaking is when the explosion takes so long to get to them when the world is, like the Death Star blast on.
Who knew light could move that slow?
Yeah, really. But other than that, like that movie follows rules. It follows established things, and it makes a lot of sense. That's part of why I love Rogue One so much. It's it follows its own narrative, whereas you have things like hell within Star Wars. Again, we're staying in Star Wars. Last Jedi, it breaks my immersion when you see Luke be this tired old fuck.
Yes, that's what we were talking about. Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make a single lick of sense for him to act at all the way he did throughout the entire movie.
That's part of what I mean, where it doesn't, it does break immersion whenever you have these stories with established, not even just rules, but established narratives, and then things just wildly break, and that sharp corner right there, bam, breaks you at, it's like you're following along this path, and you smash out of it with your momentum because you were following it so much.
Man, and I was also thinking too, the amount of how much immersion affects how it affects a person varies from person to person. But I also noticed a lot of, at least we have very similar ideas of what takes us out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, there's just so many things that take you out of it. Like hell, I mean. Here's an easy one: when a character is played by a different actor.
Oof, yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland in Metal Gear Solid Y.
Yeah, it can break you out of it immediately because you're so I remember, you guys probably remember this too, when Harry Potter, when the first Dumbledore,
when Dumbledore
passed
changed.
away. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, look at this new Dumbledore." It took 4 Harry Potter movies for it to be okay,
Yeah.
That he was totally different.
Yeah, Goblet of Fire wasn't the same.
It was so weird.
I mean,
I I thought it was the Prisoner of Azkaban when the switch happened.
Was it?
I thought he only
I
was alive for the first two.
honestly cannot remember.
I'm gonna do
I
some
read the
research.
Harry Potter books. No, I read the Harry Potter books up to 5 when I was like in 4th grade, 5th grade. So I don't know.
I mean, look, all I know is he did change in either the second or third movie. After that, the guy passed away, unfortunately. And there was a
Oh,
different,
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
like that. Those
You're
things
right. It was.
damage
It was the third movie that he took over.
I thought I remembered 2 being the number.
I guess it's just he was in
But
3
yeah.
so little, but
Well, that's probably partially why.
Yeah.
I doubt he died cleanly, like right at. I mean, you know that by the time the second movie was coming out, the third was already swinging into production. So unless it was one of those cases where he just barely got enough in for them to kind of splice it all together, then in reality he didn't make it for any of 3 probably, or he got some of 3 done and then they had to rush.
yeah, I didn't even think about the actor changing. And I've actually got a funny example of 2 instances completely different within the same series. So I talked about Kingdom Hearts 3 the other week. Watching the trailer was really difficult to do because Mickey Mouse's voice actor passed away in, like, I think 2007 or 8. And Mickey Mouse's new voice actor doesn't sound quite right. There's something really off about his voice. And I hate hearing the new Mickey. But on top of that, you still have the same actor doing Sora who doesn't sound anything like he used to.
Yeah.
So you got this double whammy of no one sounding the way they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know once you play the game, at least Sora's going to be fine. Once you hear him, like, yell while he's attacking for 15 minutes, you'll get used to it and you won't remember how he used to sound. But I'm never going to unhear this bizarro Mickey showing up in my cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It stinks. It really does.
When I wrote down my list of what to talk about, I thought we were going to talk way more about video game mechanics that break immersion. So it's like,
I mean that. You open a menu and your immersion's broken.
Well, no, I wanted to talk about this because I was going to reveal to everyone that I beat Life is Strange Before the Storm this
Oh,
weekend.
thank God. It's
But I
only
wanted to
been
talk-
forever.
I know, right? Now I still have to play Captain Spirit, but
Yep.
that's only going to be like 2 hours. Translation in 3 months. But what broke the immersion for me with this was they tried to do some weird stuff with the engine for character animation, and they wanted to show a character who looked like they were just like a big junkie, like they had been addicted to coke for a while. Now they're just in the plot. So they tried to make this character super duper skinny, except the existing character models didn't really support that. And instead of redoing the character frame, they just made a character super duper skinny. But none of the joints fit a character with that kind of body type. So every time they moved their arm, it was super weird. And I became like, it was very apparent this is not, like, I feel like there's a character on screen who looks real talking to another character who looks like a straight up puppet moving around.
Ugh.
And that broke the shit out of my immersion in an otherwise very pivotal scene in Before the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have encountered anything like that.
I mean, almost every RPG, when the HUD is too serious. I mean,
Actually, you know what's really immersion breaking in RPGs? Going back to even like the quote unquote Mass Effect system that we mostly live in these days, when those text boxes don't really match what you were trying to say.
Oh, when you say
That's
something and the
super
tone is super different.
When you're like slightly disagree and the guy's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," it's like, whoa! What writer thought that description was okay?
oh man, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree
there's
with that
some
one.
games that do it well. Like, I'm surprised that God of War did it pretty well because I mean they've always had a minimalistic heads-up display, but they really tried to do their best in hiding it in the new God of War. Like, I really like it when cinematic games, they'll make the HUD disappear until like it's time for combat.
Right.
Like, that's really like Horizon does it. I think I started seeing it more in The Last of Us. And like whenever there was something contextual on screen, like they would make it just big enough and like noticeable enough, like on screen, but like it wasn't so jarring. It felt like it was a part of the game. So that, like, that's a good example of it. That keeps me in. But like, I don't know, even what's it called? Like MMOs. right? I cannot get immersed in those at all. Or The Witcher.
Mhm.
I mean, there are things I could do in The Witcher. Well, no,
Is it just the UI that's doing it?
it's literally just the UI that does it. But like when I start talking and stuff, though, like if I'm in conversations, like in The Witcher, I think the writing is fantastic and the missions are great, right? Like I try to play as a Witcher. Like, oh, I'm hunting this thing. All right, I better read the bestiary. Okay, I gotta
Yeah,
gather.
the bestiary is fucking great.
Yeah, like it's one of those games where you have to read the bestiary if you want to do well. So it's like, all right, I gotta go gather these things. What do I gotta get? Right? Like that stuff is all great. Like
Mhm.
that, like the act of those mechanics and this talking and trying to guess the correct thing, like that's cool. Like I'm trying to role play as much as Geralt as I can, because like I got to one mission, Tim, where it's like super early in the game. Like you'll know what I'm talking about, the crossroads, and they're like, yo, there's this monster that attacked the caravan, and it turned out to be the Shoatal or whatever. You know?
Oh yeah, and you can turn them in or kill them.
Yeah, you could turn them in
or let them go.
Oh yeah, you can let them go. And then I was sent here to do a job, and so I killed them.
Oh shit! No, I was like, I'm turning you guys in or something, and they were like, nah, man, that's basically a death sentence. Fuck you.
Oh no! So
and then I ended up killing them.
Yeah, so here was the thing. So I showed up, and they were like, "You gotta hand us your sword," and I'm like, I know exactly what Geralt would say. He would be like, "Nah, fuck you. All right, you're dead."
There's been
then.
plenty of times where he hands over his sword.
When?
In the books and stuff?
I don't know. Well,
Hell, the newest book, he shows up at a town, and the people living in the town are like, yeah, if you want to go into the nice quarter, you have to surrender your weapons because you're not allowed to have weapons in the nice quarter. And Geralt hands them over, and his swords get stolen, and that lasts for the entire book.
Well, I haven't gotten that far. Okay?
Yeah, because you've been distracting yourself.
I'm here to play video games, not read.
Yeah, I've been playing video games. I've been ping-ponging back and forth between playing video games and reading. I also bought like a fuck ton of comics at this comic convention. It's been a mess. My life's been a mess.
There you go. Oh my god.
It's been out of fucking control. Leslie wants me to watch BoJack Horseman.
Ugh.
No, you have more anime to watch first.
I could always watch. Well, you could always be watching more anime.
I say that because it's true.
It's true. I've been meaning to get back. I've been trying to get back off of my hiatus.
Get back into anime?
Well, no. So like I said, I took a hiatus. I should be talking about this in the weeks, but I took a hiatus from Shokugeki, and I wanted to get back into it because you guys were talking about it last week.
It's quite and it's not like it's coming out new. You could just binge it and be done.
Yeah. So I mean,
you don't have to think about it as soon as you do it one more time.
Oh yeah, and I also got into Westworld, so I'm watching Westworld.
No shit, I need to watch season 2.
I like it so far, but anyway, what's something good about? Oh yeah, so I was watching Westworld. So far, nothing has really broken my immersion. The show's actually held my attention, even when I thought something would have. Like after I noticed it, like in the first episode, they play this Western version of Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. I don't know if you guys have heard
love
of
that. It was really good.
It was really good. And then like I'm like, oh shit, is this Paint It Black? And it only got me more hype.
Because the thing was, it was.
Oh god, you made me think of the "Is this blank" meme.
Oh my.
Oh god.
I thought you were gonna make an "Is this Lost" reference. I was like, oh no, it's a completely different meme you're referencing. But no, with that scene, my friend didn't pick up that was Paint It Black, and I was sitting there jamming along, and I started humming. He's like, "Why do you know this song?" I'm like, "Because it's Paint It Black." Like he didn't put two and two together. So the scene, for someone who didn't know the song, it just felt like music that fit. It was just this up tempo, piece that fit the period time. And the fact that it was Paint It Black was fun, but it didn't break me out of the fact that it was just a song.
Right. Exactly. It felt like it was.
It felt like it belonged
meant to be there. Yes. And I think they did a really good job with that. And so far, the show is really doing it for me. Like I feel like that's a good example of some good world. At least for now, I'm like halfway through episode 6 right now.
There's only one part that broke my immersion a bit, and I guess it's something they don't explain. I'm not going to spoil this to you. I'm pretty sure you've seen the scene of it happening where one of the robots kind of goes crazy and will start like attacking people or doing something outlandish, and then they'll cut, and it feels like it's in the same scene, but suddenly there's like investigators from that company just like investigating the scene live as it was happening, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, this is very clearly some amount of time has passed, but they don't make it very clear. Those scenes annoyed me because I could never figure out what was going on, and I realized it was a stylistic choice of the show to show this seamless transition that there's this world happening. They don't just pause it because something happens. It has to keep playing out, and I didn't personally like it. Every time a scene like that happened, I got really annoyed because I was trying to piece together just the timeline of everything, and it was fucking with me. So
yeah, that's the biggest thing that I've been hearing about that show is like the confusion that can happen.
Yeah, it was
which also can take you out of like the show. It's like if you don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden you're pausing every 5 minutes to try to figure out what the fuck is going on.
There's a certain point where it all comes together and makes sense. So I understand that it is justified, but I do think it negatively impacted my viewing experience of it because of that.
I hear you.
Unfortunately, I think we need to kind of head towards the end because it's been 2 hours and I still need to eat dinner.
All right. I'm just going to rapid fire the last 2 points I scribbled down during the break.
Perfect.
I hate Deus Ex Machina. If you rely on it, you can't write. Stop doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
Agreed.
And then Tyler, when you mentioned the dirt roads, I was like, shit, I didn't write down these specific examples. What's an example of a time a game did something that really broke my immersion? And it was the first time I hit a guardrail in Final Fantasy 15 because I was fucking with the steering wheel. And in that game, they could have gone the route of no car damage and everyone damage, except they didn't figure out how to do moderate. Your car is either pristine condition or you nick the guardrail and your windshield is shattered.
Yep.
It was all or nothing, and I fucking hated that. I'd rather they just not do car damage.
I feel like that would have been very good. That's another thing that like Ross like touched on actually with the car thing. It's either like 0 or 100, right? Like either like all the damage gets done to you, or in the crew, you run through something and it's like cardboard paper, like it just falls over. Or if you're in GTA 4, you hit like a shrubbery bush and you go flying out the windshield.
Flying in the East River.
Yeah.
Fucking dead. Wasted.
Like it, I don't know. Like for some reason, no one can really do it correctly. But yeah, that takes me out of it. Especially when you're only going, 5 miles an hour. It's fucking stupid. Or even like you said in Final Fantasy 15, we gotta take it back to Cindy.
Gotta drive all the way back to the other side of the world to the car repair shop.
What do you mean? I tow that shit. I tow that shit.
Nah, man.
I pay the gill.
You gotta... But all that experience you get from sitting there driving and AFKing your PS4.
Jesus.
God, that game.
All right.
Anyway.
We can leave off here. If that was that all your points?
That's all I wrote down.
Okay.
And I don't write.
Good. Those are good points. Yeah, we don't write. We just go. We go with the flow, man.
Nah, I scribbled on notes for all these, and then just the structure gets completely lost halfway through. And
That's okay. You're the only good one.
Welcome to DMing.
Welcome
to DMing. That's what happens.
Tyler, what are you doing this week? Other than not playing D&D again?
No, I'm playing tomorrow. Fuck you guys. I got my other D&D game.
Got him.
Because y'all want to fucking stunt on your boy.
Yeah, you can write me out of the plot this week. Anyway, listeners, I'll just to explain what's going on. I have a corporate funded hackathon I'm doing Thursday night, which is unfortunately our D&D night. So I'm the one who's causing us to not be. It's not a battle, it's a war. And I'll be at my office overnight with a couple of other developers I know writing some stupid code for some dumb project that isn't going to work.
It's a hack Shokugeki.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So without the foodgasm, there's no orgasms involved, and there's way less women.
I don't know, Freeman. I'm pretty sure we can find something on r/programmer memes that would be applicable to.
Oh my god.
The problem is I really don't want to show my code to the CIO of the company, and then he just starts screaming shit like, "Oh, predefined variables!" Like,
oh my god, that was way too real. Holy shit. God damn.
I mean, that's what would happen. I don't know. I miss that stuff though. I was saying I miss that shit. Oh yeah, and then so that's going on, and then like I think Leslie has a date or something like that. So I'm like, fuck, you guys, everyone sucks. Want to play D&D?
Yeah, well, it was my fault first, so.
Oh well. And then so what else am I doing? I'm trying to see Sicario.
And if not, you're gonna travel those Octopaths.
I'm definitely gonna be traveling those Octopaths. And then I'm gonna be reading a ton of comics that I fucking bought. I went to this comic book convention over the weekend, and that was in my town, and I got to meet actually some pretty cool indie developing, like indie writers. I read their stuff, and it's pretty cool. This one guy who released his third issue of his comic was there, and I was like, "Yo, I remember you from last year." He's like, "Yo, that's so cool," blah blah blah. And like we talked for a while. It was just a really cool experience. Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing that, playing Octopath Traveler, researching how to soundproof the bird's room. And that's about. Oh yeah, and then I'm going to like this memorial service. My one aunt passed away last week while you guys were here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing that, but I don't think we're going. I don't know, or we might have something on our own. There's like a Family Feud going on.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic when stuff like that happens. So we might just have like a thing of our like my side of the family or whatever is gonna have a thing. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm not really doing too much this weekend. I'm just gonna try to relax.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah. So Freeman, yeah.
All right, so I already told my guild I'm taking a short break from Guild Wars 2. I've been playing it way too much lately. I'm starting to feel the burnout. So that's partially why I had time to play Life is Strange 2 this weekend.
Damn.
But no, my birthday is next Monday, so I've got some stuff going on over the weekend as well as on next Monday. So I was freeing up some time for that. I'm gonna try and.
Did Val talk to you?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Did Val talk to
you?
you?
Yeah, I think she messaged me about my presence at her parents' house. Yeah, but I'm socially awkward and don't know how I feel about just going to her parents' house.
Oh my fucking god!
So I don't know what's gonna happen. Don't tell her I said that.
We're never coming back to New Jersey, so how else are you gonna get it?
Well, how the fuck am I? Well, I don't have her parents. And everyone's just texting me like, "Oh, hey, it's Val's friend. Can I get my package?"
Just when you're next time. Okay, we'll
Yo,
talk about
I'll
that.
go. I don't give a shit.
Look, if you guys had UPS My Choice, this wouldn't.
Oh my fucking god!
Yo,
all right, so Freeman's done and off the podcast.
No, I'm not. No,
now.
I still have more stuff to talk about. So my hackathon's probably going to keep me busy Thursday, Friday, but Friday night I'm going to see if I can squeeze in Captain Spirit and get that out of the way, because I heard it's really short, but it's actually good. Life is Strange 2 had like no gameplay because they're like, oh, no one has cool powers in this, but they're like, well, that's what Life is Strange is about. It's about having cool powers, so that's what the new episode's about. So I'm excited for that. New anime season started, so I'm picking up some shows. I've already started the beach volleyball and the badminton anime, and they're both
very
only
different.
A matter of time.
The beach volleyball anime is very explicitly fan service, but the badminton anime has been very serious so far, and it's a contender for animation of the season. It's so fluidly animated.
Fast.
It's really good.
Wow.
Yeah, like no, it's a serious show. Not like your normal sports anime. But I gotta see what else is coming out. Attack on Titan's in 2 weeks. I don't have to worry about that for a while. Heroes coming back, so get hyped for that.
Time to start a new arc.
Hell yeah. But that's about it for me. Probably gonna try and get Octopath Traveler at some point, but I don't know when I'm gonna actually start it.
As for me, it's been a very, very busy time since the last podcast. Between me and Val driving back to New Jersey, driving back here, and then me going to Atlantic City for a night, it was quite a lot of driving and traveling.
Oh, did you win any money?
Thankfully, it's all over. No, I threw $40 into some slot machines and some video poker. It was fine. My friend lost $100, so
that sounds like Atlantic City.
Damn, yep.
Yeah, she was like, "It's okay. I just raised the or no, she actually won some money. She like won $100, but she had put $200 in by the end of the night.
Oh man.
She like put in 100, won the 100, and then put the 100 back in and lost that. So, yeah, it was cool. I would love to go there again with more people or with just for longer, instead of actually just being there for the anime convention.
Hey, come on, man.
Look, there's nothing wrong with it, but it was cool to walk the boardwalk and actually, like, we went to a show and had a nice dinner at one of the casinos. Those casinos are the crazy.
Which one did you go to?
We saw the show and ate dinner in the Tropicana.
Okay.
And then we went to the Hard Rock for a little bit of gambling, where I got fucking carded because I was hanging out while she was on poker machines.
Oh, dang.
I got fucking carded, and I was so tired at the time. I just, with the most dead fuck you expression on my face, I just handed the guy my license and watched him almost crack my license in half to do the bend test. And I was like, okay, Chubby, get the fuck out of here. I didn't actually say that, but man, was I kind of thinking it. I was kind of thinking it. I really didn't feel like going down and trying to play my hand at a busy-ass fucking blackjack table. So I just did video poker.
Wow, so boring.
It was funny because our hotel, the street our hotel was on, to get to the boardwalk, we had to pass the only strip club on the boardwalk.
Hell
Stiletto.
yeah.
So we got to see how it progressed as like the multiple times. Like first it was just nothing there with a bunch of sandbags, and then later on at night they had like, you know, like at the red carpet where they have the wall of logos that you take pictures in front of, so everyone's logo is in it.
Yeah.
The strip club had one of those set up outside, like a selfie spot where it was like this canvas with like their logo and like this little patch of rug.
Oh my god.
And then they had like a check-in booth and a little the little rope to guide people into the door. We didn't go in, obviously, but it was fucking hilarious to see. And it felt like we were like, oh god, please don't murder us as we walk past when we had to walk back to the hotel.
Well, yeah, they're just, I don't know. I don't know. You mug them.
I don't think we can mug the big bouncers with security shirts, Tyler.
Listen.
Or the clearly drunk people hanging out outside.
This is America.
Why don't you become one of the drunk people and go into the strip club?
Oh my god.
Titties.
Well, because I don't drink, and the one drink she had at the dinner, she didn't like and had 2 sips of, and then we left for the casino to gamble. So, no drinking happened, even by not me. I do have a picture of me on a go-kart, though. That's the one thing that survived other than my Facebook post. It's pretty legit.
Nice.
I beat her in go-karting, even though it wasn't really a race.
Look, did you have to
Freeman, you've seen the course.
Did you have to throw the blue shell?
Haven't you seen... No, Freeman, seriously, haven't you seen the go-kart course at the end of the pier?
No, I haven't gone to it.
You literally have never gone out to the boardwalk every time.
I am there for a very specific reason.
All right, anyway. My upcoming week, so I need to catch up on recording. I have billions of Empire Earth episodes already recorded. Like, even after being gone, I have almost 20 episodes still pre-recorded.
Oh, man.
I finished uploading Alien vs. Predator. That was a very fun, quick LP. Only 12 parts. It was like nothing. I think what I'm actually going to start tomorrow, because it's way too late tonight, I believe I'm going to record Season 2 of Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. For whatever reason, every now and then seems like old Star Wars games get released on PC. I know there was a GOG version of Shadows of the Empire for a while. I couldn't get it to work well, but I don't know if it's recently released, but there's a Steam version that I don't know if I had it before, but it runs like a dream, and it actually has pre-rendered cutscenes that are not in the N64 version.
Really?
Yeah, there's pre-rendered dialogue. I don't know if I skipped them or if I just blanked them from memory, but it didn't. It's not in my N64 LP, so fuck it. That'll probably be a very quick LP. I might do another Star Wars Season 2 afterward. I'm just trying to buy time until Yakuza 0 comes out because I'm gonna fucking let's play that game. It's not even a question. What else? Also, shit, no. Never mind. I did see 3 movies, like I said. Incredibles 2, Sicario 2, and Saw Ant-Man and the Wasp
A
yesterday.
lot of twos here.
All sequels.
Yep.
They were all really good. Incredibles 2 was really good.
Incredibles
Tyler,
2
you can
was really
attest.
good. Oh yeah, that was really fun.
It was just a very fun time. It was cool to see the whole family dynamic with powers kind of evolve now that the superheroes are more of a thing. I do think the villain was kind of lame. And, like, even if I hadn't had who the villain was spoiled, I think it would have been pretty obvious who the villain was.
Mm-hmm.
But that was good. Sicario 2, I literally don't want to say a single word about because Tyler is so hyped for this movie. I don't want to influence what he's going to think at all. We'll talk about it next week. Hopefully Freeman will have seen the first one by then. That's what you should do, Freeman. You should try to find some time to watch the first Sicario. Tyler would probably watch it again.
I will watch it again.
I'll probably have some time on Saturday if you're down to watch it.
Yeah, I saw it 2 weeks ago. I will see it again.
It's a fantastic fucking movie. I should show it to Val at some point because she never finished it. And Ant-Man and the Wasp was maybe funnier than the first one. I was there. We were in a theater with about 10 other people, and I was laughing my ass off or just shoving my face like into Val's shoulder, trying to muffle my laughter. It was really funny and really entertaining. It was a good time. It was, again, just... This isn't Avengers. There were no surprises or anything like that or any massive earth-shattering stuff, but it was so cool. It was like a refresher after Avengers to, like, ease us into this long break until Captain Marvel comes out. Other than that, the LPs... Val. So, I don't know if you've heard about this, Tyler. I don't think Leslie would have mentioned it, but Val's been complaining for a while now that for some reason on her Pinterest, she gets things she watches, and then Voltron, the Netflix series, for like a year now has been showing up on her Pinterest from nowhere for no reason. So while I was gone in Atlantic City, she decided to start watching Voltron. And she got a few episodes in and said it's really good. And we started watching it Sunday when I got back, actually. And we're only a few episodes in, but honestly, Voltron is actually pretty decent. We're having a good time watching it, so that'll probably be our series that we're watching together right now. Probably try to watch an episode or two with dinner tonight before we go to bed. But yeah, it's a shockingly good time. It's been really fun. It's definitely not perfect, and it is a little more kid kind of angled. Like there's a princess and she has talking animal characters, but honestly, the jokes are pretty funny and the characters don't act completely tropey. Like they've already kind of shown a little bit of growth and development over the course of the few episodes that we've seen. And apparently there's 6 seasons of this show now.
What the fuck?
I had no fucking clue, but then when we were on Netflix, I was like...
Or is it long ones?
Let me double check real quick. I thought they were like at least 12 episodes full half seasons. Voltron... Since Netflix constantly moves this shit around like a piece of shit. 11 episodes in season 1. And it looks... and 7 and 6. So they're about 10 episode seasons. Let's see, does that...
Not too bad.
Okay, there's about 6. So they are kind of short. Okay, so they are like kind of Castlevania. If Castlevania goes on a few more years, it's probably going to be about the same. So that's reasonable, but... Still, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm kind of excited to keep watching it.
I'm gonna end it with the red versus blue quote: "Women are like Voltron. The more you hook up, the better it gets."
Oh my god!
But actually, though, the animation's pretty good. There's honestly been some stuff that you would think would, like, big explosions that you would think would be CGI. Some of them look hand-drawn. There's one shot in, like, episode 4 where, like, the castle that they all hide in gets attacked by this big ship, and the laser actually does kind of that wrap around a shield effect.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just look like a static explosion. It kind of looks like that blown...
Pew!
Like, it's actually hitting. It looked really good, and I actually turned to Val and was like, wow, that looks good. Other than that, just working, driving forever, because I'm still working an hour away.
How long is that supposed to last for?
Probably about 2 more weeks, maybe 3. At least this week and 1 more week, probably another week.
All right, well, it's almost over.
But it's $300 extra a week for mileage, so
Hell yeah.
I'll take the money. But yeah, other than that, so I'm gonna stop rambling and be done. Honestly, I wonder if another Star Wars LP might start before the next podcast. I'm thinking about doing a season 2 of Jedi Outcast because that was kind of the original one that people requested as season 2. Oh, I forgot to mention, part of the reason I'm doing this is because when I first recorded a bunch of these N64 Star Wars games, like Shadows of the Empire and the first Rogue Squadron, I was using an old internal capture card that I had a long time ago, and it actually desynced the audio in like every one of those LPs. So I don't actually love those LPs that much. So this is my chance to do a nice crisp version of the PC. That's why I did it with Rogue Squadron, and I'm going to do it with Shadows of the Empire to try to get these. And I also want to do Episode 1 Racer on PC at some point in the near future, as soon as I can get that working. Because I don't like those old N64 LPs that I did, and I don't want to emulate because that feels like cheating. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling so that we can, so I can go make dinner.
Yeah, and I can go get
Hopefully
ice cream and dinner.
10:30. Yeah,
I can
let's
go
all
to
do
sleep.
those things. Yeah, those are all good options. But thank you all so much for listening. I think we should be finally back to our normal proceedings next week. Finally
Yeah, I
back
think so.
to no skipping or anything.
Yeah.
But until next time, my name is Timpedia,
I'm Friedman.
And I'm just Tyler.
and we are the TNT Podcast, and we will catch you guys next week.